Hi, welcome to the next video on introduction of labview. In the previous video, we have seen that we have seen the usage of loops. We have seen the variation with the input could be continuously checked at the output terminal. Now I'll continue with the same thing. Instead of using the slides block, I'll just display the output with a waveform graph and chart. Let us try to know the difference between the waveform chart and the graph. Come to labview. Yeah. Now if I have to monitor the temperature of a plant continuously, and if that is supposed to be displayed or written on a graph, the slide 2 at the output terminal will be removed. Instead of that slide 2, so I'll just go select a graph and chart, go to front panel, right click and select waveform chart. Yes, so you could see the same blocks on the block diagram. Chart will be connected or kept inside the loop, and that will be connected to the output terminal of the code. Graph will be connected to the output terminal. Keep the graph outside the loop. So graph should be kept outside the loop. As soon as you connect it, so you will have a error which is indicated by this wire, where you have a cross mark on the wire. The error is you have connected the two different which are of the two different data types. So you could see that run button is also broken. If you just go click on that, you will have a list of errors. Sorry, the error is you have connected two terminals of different data types. So to overcome this or to debug this, go to that point where the output terminal is being connected to the border of the loop, so which indicates that is a loop tunnel. Right click over there, go to tunnel mode and let that be in the indexing mode. So now the wire has become a solid wire and even the run button is not broken. Now run the code. Sorry, and just click on this highlight execution and now run the code. So you could see the variation in the output only on the chart, but at the same time you don't have any output on the graphical display, whereas you have output on the chart. Chart is used to know the output point by point data, whereas graph will be used to set all at once, to set the data all at once. So now if I stop, yes, you could see the output on the chart, whereas the output on the graph is 0. So I'll remove this while loop. Instead of this while loop, I'll just replace it with for loop. Now let me run. Remove the stop button. Let me run the code. Before I run the code, give the iterations, for how many iterations the code have to be executed. So go near this n, which indicates the number of iterations you could see that loop count over there. Right click, create a constant. So I'll just run the code for 5 iterations. After 5 iterations, the execution of the code stops automatically. So now you can just have a look, run, vary the input, at the same time you could see that the output on the chart is being varied, whereas output on the graph is 0. After 5 iterations, you could see the last data on the graph. So once again I repeat, chart will be used if you want to know point by point data, and graph will be used for a set of data which could be displayed all at once. Once again, just increase the number of iterations to 10. Now run the code. You could see in the chart the previous run output is still there, and the output for the next 10 iterations is being updated, whereas the chart once again has the previous output. So now after 10 iterations you will have the current result, but whereas in the chart you will have the previous result also. So if you want to know the data on any one of the wire, go to, sorry, I'll just run and show. Yes, so after 10 iterations, so this is what the temperature you have at the output terminal, that is around 66, 67. So the same you have at the last iteration on a chart. I'll just show you the usage of the probe also. Run the code once again. If you want to know the value near the wire, you could move the mouse button near the wire. You could see that P, which is encircled, go right click over there, probe. So you will have the value which is at that instant, which would be present there at that instant. So now vary the input, could see the variation with the probe value also. So this is how probes could be used to display the values with the wire, to display the values nearby the wire. So once again, you have the last iteration result on the graph. You have all the runs. So you have run the code for more than 3-4 times. So all the data you have on the waveform chart. So that is what the difference between the chart and the graph. Last iteration output is present on the graph, whereas the entire number of runs you have, so that is present on the chart. In the next video, so we shall see the usage of signal generators, different types of signal generators also. Thank you.